All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Discovering Multifamily podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Scandariato, here with Red Knight Properties. And today we have a special guest here with us, Sharad Mehta, who's the founder and CEO at REsimpli. And it's essentially real estate software. He got pretty frustrated, using multiple softwares to run his real estate companies. Sharad is a owner of 50 plus free and clear rental properties and flips about 40 to 50 properties out of state per year. Today we're going to talk about how to, build a scalable real estate business and how, using systems and his software in particular to help, catapult your growth and, basically lower your marketing costs and, become more efficient in your strategies. So thanks so much for coming on, Sharad.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anthony, for having me on the show, man. Super excited about our conversation.
Great. So why did you start REsimpli and what exactly does it do?
Yeah, so I started recently. I used to live in Chicago. In 2015, I moved from Chicago to Carlsbad, where I live now. And I was flipping, 40, 50 houses a year. I started looking at my business on, the software and all the technology solutions I would need to run my business. And I noticed that I would need about like 6, 7 different software to run my business. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't make sense. There has to be an easier way. I didn't find anything, so I just hired a couple of developers to, help me build something that I needed for my business, and it just kind of grew into what it is now. Yeah, basically what it does is it's a business management software for real estate investors to manage their business from end to end, from marketing, lead management, to their buyers management, to the operation side of the business, like even their bookkeeping and finances.
That's great. So how did you get started in real estate and your investing journey?
Uh, yeah, so I bought my first rental property, 2-unit property back in 2010. I still own that property. I wanted something, where I could be financially free. I looked at, different investment types like stocks, bonds, and it just seemed like, based on what I wanted to do, just my personality fit and my risk appetite, just real estate investing was the best, investment opportunity for me.
Yeah, so you started with a two-family property, and how did you grow from there?
I'm sorry, say that again. Your voice
You
cut out.
started with I'm sorry, you started with a two-family property. So how did
Yep.
you grow your portfolio from there? What was the next step? And then how did
Yeah,
you get to where you are?
so I bought my first 2-unit in August 2010. Then I bought another 3-unit back in September 2010. This is back in like 2010, 11, at the pretty much at the bottom of the market. And then as I started buying more properties, as I bought like first 5 units, I realized that given where the market is right now and, the ROI that I'm getting, this is the time when I was still working as a full-time accountant when I bought my properties. And I realized that the ROI that I'm getting on these properties, it's phenomenal. I don't think there's ever going to be any better opportunity to buy rental property. So I decided to leave my job and just go full-time real estate investing. My wife and I had some money saved up, and this is like, very inexpensive properties in Northwest Indiana, right outside of Chicago. So I started buying, more rental properties. And then, after like 2 or 3 properties, I ran out of cash. Then I started working with a private lender, and I would get 7-year loans, 7-year amortization loans with 2-year balloon payment, just so that I could force myself to pay these quickly and have free and clear properties. And then I started wholesaling and flipping in 2013, 14 to start making some cash from those properties, from wholesaling and flipping, and then invest them back into rental properties.
Oh, that's great. So there's a lot going on, a lot of different parts of your business. And when did you start your software platform after you kind of were started flipping and
Right.
wholesaling and yeah, when was this started to help?
Yeah, so that was in 2015, August 2015. My wife received a job offer in Carlsbad, and we were living in Chicago. We are planning to start family, and the weather is exceptional in San Diego area. So we decided to make the move, and I thought I was going to fly back and forth, once a month just to check on my flips and whatnot, and then I would use leverage technology to for my flips. That's where kind of I looked at the solutions out there. It didn't really fit what I was looking for. I come from an accounting background, so data tracking KPI was very important part of what I wanted to do. I didn't find anything where I could just plug and play. I would need like 5, 6 different software to run my business, have them integrate into each other, speak with each other. That didn't really appeal to me.
So you're for the properties that you own yourself, you're property managing. So this software is really extension of property management.
No, not really. Like it doesn't do property management. What it does, it helps you with the like active side of the business. If you're looking to buy off-market property, so our software really target audience for our software is people that are looking for off-market properties that are doing direct to seller marketing through whether it be direct mail, SEO, PPC, cold calling. They want to generate those leads and then manage those leads through our pipeline. That's who the software is catered for.
Got it. Okay. So what
Right.
what what advice would you give to someone looking to close their next deal within the next, 90 days or
I
so?
Yeah, I would say like, you get the best returns on properties that you buy off market. So I would definitely say look into buying off market properties, have some marketing channel that you feel comfortable with, whether it be direct mail, cold calling, SEO, PPC. Generally what we've noticed with all the regulations around SMS and whatnot, direct mail tends to be the most long-term consistent marketing channel. That's what I recommend. That's what, we're trying to do more of. So I would say look into direct mail and pull a list of your target sellers that you want to reach out to, and then be consistent, right? Don't try to do one marketing channel once and then expect to get a deal. If it doesn't work, then you jump to the next marketing channel and then to the next. Then none of the marketing channels are really going to work on a long term. So pick a marketing channel, let's say direct mail, and then plan to do 4 to 6 mailings over 6 months period. I mean, ideally you want to do about every 45 days, so about 4 mailings in a 6 month period. So just do that, be consistent with it, and then have a good follow-up system. Right. There's going to be some sellers that call you and say, hey, I'm ready to sell my property right now. But most of them are going to call back and say, hey, I received your letter. What is this about? How much are you offering for your property? I mean, how much are you offering for my property? I'm interested, but not really. 4 months later, 6 months later, you want to make sure you have a good follow-up system with those sellers. Just talking to a user of ours last week, and he mentioned that he just closed on a property that he had been following up for 5 years. He sent one postcard or letter to them. The seller wasn't interested at that point. He wanted a price that didn't make sense. But this person just kept following up. I mean, I personally closed on properties that we've had in our follow pipeline for like 2 or 3 years. So that's where you start making the money is on the follow-up side of the business.
Yeah, it takes time. So in terms of, so you're really doing direct to seller marketing. That's your main channel. What other channels, you mentioned SMS. I get texts a lot of times and a lot of the information's wrong. Typically they'll text me and it's, property that I've already sold or,
Right,
even I'll get cold calls too from, properties I've already sold, like even properties I've sold 2 years ago.
right.
So what's the best advice in terms of from a data standpoint, so you're not, having people aren't wasting their time with kind of junk leads.
Yeah, I mean, what we like, I mean, there's several data providers out there. What really the best practice is that you update your list every 6 months. So like a lot of, texts and calls that you're getting, these are people that probably bought the list like, a year or two ago. Then they never refresh the list. So you're still on their marketing list. So what we do is we buy our list at the beginning of the year, then mid of the year, the same list. So we can take off any owners that have sold their property. So they don't fit our criteria anymore, for whatever reason. So that's what we do. That's what we recommend, that every 6 months, you buy the same list, right? If you're going after absentee owners, you're going after, owners that have 10, 15, 20 unit properties, So you want to make sure every 6 months you go in, refresh your list. So there's going to be some people that don't fit your list anymore, and there's going to be some people that were not on your original list and they're part of your list now. So you want to make sure you keep doing that, and that's the list that you're targeting. A lot of investors don't do that. They try to save money on it. It may be the money, it may be the time question that it may not be part of their business process, but really, really important. Otherwise, you're wasting your marketing dollars going after people that are not, they don't even own any property that fit your criteria anymore.
Yeah. Does your software have any integrations with these lists?
Not with the list. So list is one thing, people use all different sort of, providers out there. So once you've bought the list, after that, our system can take over. You can import the list into our system, manage your list, take out any duplicates, cold call them, send them direct mail, do all of that through our platform. And then once these people are interested in selling their properties, you can manage those leads through our platform. You can call, text, email from right within our platform.
No, that's great. You said you could send direct mail through your platform.
Yes.
So how does that
Yeah, you can
work?
send.
Go ahead.
We have integration with a couple of mail houses, so you can send postcard, letters, even handwritten letters or postcards right through our system.
Well, that's great. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
paperwork is kind of what um, I would say for people looking to get into business, kind of trips people up. They don't want to go to the post office and mail, handwrite different
Yep,
letters
exactly.
on the list, or even printing out the list and then, even typing them on Excel. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of work.
exactly. So they can do right that, all of that within our platform. They upload their list and then select, based on whatever criteria they have. If they have a list of 10,000 people, let's say, but they only want to send to 1,000 people, then they can filter based on certain criteria and just only send to those 1,000 people.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, the key takeaway message is, to kind of set up your system going into your business so it can
Oh, absolutely.
set you up for success.
Absolutely. I mean, it's important to know kind of what's working, what's not working in your business, right? And you want to have a repeatable process. You don't want to be lucky to get a deal and then you have no idea how you got it. And then you're going out there trying to figure out, okay, what worked for me. So that's where you want to have a system that you can go in as you scale your business. You have someone on your team that you can hand over that part of the business to. So I live in California. We flip properties in Indiana. My project manager lives in California, an hour north of me, and my lead manager lives in Canada. So we have a very virtual business, but it's all based on systems and processes that we're doing a day in, day out that manage. I mean, in my REsimpli software company, we have dozens of employees based all over the world, but we manage all of that through, written systems and processes in our business.
No, that's awesome. That makes sense. So after someone closes on their property, how can we simply help them, whether it's a flip or just a long-term rental, how can the software kind of help
Yes.
them? Yeah.
So if
Go ahead.
it's a flip that they can manage their actual project in the system, like their scope of work and then the progress of the flip, whether it's listed on the market, it's under contract and whatnot, they can create scope of work. And then they also do their full bookkeeping. So like in my business, for example, in my own business, I don't use QuickBooks anymore. I just do everything through REsimpli. All my bookkeeping, my accountant is in there, my CFO is in there managing everything, and then that's what I review on a weekly or monthly basis. So that's what I would that's where we add value is that you can manage that. And then for your rental side, you can manage, like, do some very basic property management. If you have like a couple of properties, be totally fine for someone who's just getting started managing their rental properties. You can do all the financials and everything within the system.
Can I collect any rental payments or is that completely separate?
No, they cannot collect. Yeah, the rental payment. They can manage the bookkeeping, the financing, finances side of it.
Bookkeeping. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
which is the most important.
yeah,
How can someone, learn more about your system? Is it just REsimpli.com?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, they can go to resimpli.com and then they can learn more about the system there. If they have any questions or whatnot, they can reach out to our support team at support@resimpli.com, and then someone will be more than happy to answer any questions they have. Jump on a call if they need help with anything.
That's awesome. So we'll provide a link to the website. Any other ways to connect with you, Sharad?
I'm not on Instagram or Facebook. I'm not very, just never got into social media. But yeah, I mean, if they have any questions for me, wanna get in touch with me for anything, they can email me directly at sharad@resimpli.com.
Sharad at
Yep.
REsimpli.com.
So
That's
it's my
simply with
first
the
name and
I. Simply with the I.
simply with an I, correct?
Okay.
RESIMPLI.com.
All right, simply. Okay, great. I'll put that in the show notes as well as on our social media description. So if anyone wants to reach out to Sharad, feel free to do so. And as we are winding down the show, if you can give us a rating and review on iTunes, we really appreciate it. It would help Sharad and my message get out to just a greater audience. That's the way the algorithm works. So really appreciate that. And definitely encourage people to check out REsimpli and see what it can do for you. So thanks for
Cool.
thanks for coming on, Shirai. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Anthony. Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Thank you.